In this session, we will be discussing about the RFID applications. Before starting with the actual applications, we will be going through this basic system architecture of the RFID system. Before we start with the system architecture, we need to identify or discuss the components or the parts of the system architecture which are actively involved. First thing is the transponder or the tags. These tags come in different classes from class 0 to class 5. And there are three different types of these tags: the passive tag, semi-passive tag, and the active tag. Passive tags are energized by the reader's electromagnetic field. They are of low cost and size, as we know that there is no need of a battery because they are getting their required voltage from the electromagnetic field. So these passive tags are divided into class 0, class 1, and class 2. Class 0 are basically read-only tags with a simple ID number. This ID is typically a manufacturer programmed 64-bit or 96-bit number, which can be a EPC code or any other code written by the manufacturer. Class 1 are read-write passive tags that can only be written once, either by the manufacturer or the user. So class 1 tags can be written. We can write a data or an information on the class 1 tag only once. It can be a manufacturer or the user depending upon the requirement the feature is used. Class 2 tags are read-write passive tags that can be written several times. The additional functionalities like data logging and cryptography can be included with the class 2 tags. The second type comes with the semi-passive tags. Semi-passive tags generally use energy from the batteries as it is done in passive tags. Sorry, the active tag. To work in addition with the radio frequency, the batteries are needed for semi-passive tag. Right? Class 3 are with the extra energy. The tags can increase their reading distance range as well as providing new functionalities. For example, sensors can be attached with the class 3 semi-passive tags. The last category and last type is the active tags. The active tags are provided with the batteries, allowing the tag to generate its own radio frequency signals. They might also include additional features like sensor, encryption, and data processing, among other functions. Class 4 passive tags provide communication functionalities with other active tags and have the same features as of class 3. The class 5 have reader capabilities, enabling them to communicate with all types of tags. So class 5 tags can communicate with other tags as well. The diagram shows the basic system architecture of the RFID system. The basic RFID architecture is based on the transponders, interrogators, and the backend servers. Transponders are nothing but the tags, interrogators are nothing but the reader, and the backend server. In the simplest operation scheme, the tags will communicate their IDs to the reader. The reader then will transfer this information to the S server in order to be processed. Unless and until the information is not given to the server, the information cannot be processed. Finally, these S servers may be connected to some integration servers or the backend applications in order to apply the business rules and communicate with other companies or the institution. So this process data can be communicated to other third-party companies or the institutions. The magnetic field or the electric field is the only way a tag can communicate with the reader. As we know that passive tags need a magnetic field to get powered up or to get a required voltage to provide and power to the tag. So based on the magnetic field, the active or passive tag will get energized. The electric fields are giving the larger range to the readers, but the obstacles in between tend to lessen the effectiveness of the electric field. So if there are some obstacles, then it will definitely reduce the range of the electric field. The active tags can have the range of 12 meters or more than that, but they are very much expensive as compared to the passive tags and the semi-passive tags. Obviously, for the active tags, we require batteries and some other infrastructure. So obviously, it increases the cost associated with the active tags as compared to the passive and semi-passive tags. There are three different types of readers, basically: handheld readers, fixed readers, or the mobile readers. Right? They support different connection interface that include Ethernet to the wireless links. So any kind of reader can be connected to the internet via the Ethernet or a wireless communication medium, whichever is applicable and suitable. So the readers are very much comfortable with this. On the server side, all information collected from the reader is processed and interpreted following the application's rules. So obviously, based on the need of the application, the information is collected and processed on the server side as per the needs. In all, there are 4 different layers that describe the basic activities performed by the RFID system. The first layer deals with the discovery process. The discovery process involves identification of the tag by the reader. So reader looks for the tag and identifies whether the tag is present in their in surrounding or not. The first layer. In second layer, reader captures the data from the tag. After identification of a tag, there has to be some information received from tag, and it is important for the reader to identify or process the further data. In the third layer, the actions are taken regarding the information gathered. So whatever information is being received from the tag, based on that information, it can be an ID of the tag, it can be some other information from the tag or the data from the tag, it can be received, and depending upon that, the information is gathered. And based on that, what is supposed to be done next is been decided at the third layer. In the fourth and last layer, it provides an interface to manage the information. So what business rules are supposed to be applied, what other functionalities are need to be done, that has been decided at the fourth layer. In order to interact with other organizations or companies, integration servers may be used. So we know that after all the information is being received by the reader, it has to be have some logic or some operations are supposed to be performed. So based on the organization on the company or the companies, the integration servers can be used to process that data. These servers will allow the exchange of information for several different purposes. As we know, it can be done for the tracing and tracking, the item location, or the statistical purpose. The n number of purposes can be served by the organization. For that, they need the integration server to which the information will be sent by the fourth layer of the RFID system.